Hey friends, Pastor David here with this week's Midweek Minute. We launched a new sermon series over the weekend called A House That God Builds. We started looking at Psalm 127 and 128, 127 especially, that says, "Unless the Lord builds the house, the builders labor in vain." We talked about the fact that the word vain can mean empty or emptiness. We kind of learned that if we try to do things on our own, if we try to build the house on our own, and house can mean a lot of things, our own lives, the community that we're in, the church that we're in, the nation that we're in. If we try to build those things on our own, we will inevitably arrive at that sense of emptiness. But if we let the Lord build the house, again, whatever that house might mean, if we let the Lord build the house, then there's going to be prosperity and joy because we are going to be working with God as the resources God uses to build the house. And we're going to let Him have His way and have His design for our lives. And my challenge to you this week was to remember that no matter where you are, no matter what happens, no matter what you're confronted with, remember that God is building His house. God is not deterred by negative things. God is not deterred by hardship or struggle. God is not deterred even by the times that we spend ourselves and end up feeling empty. God can take all of that, and does take all of that, and uses it to construct the house for our living, for our church, for our nation. You're going to be watching this after the election is over. And while we'll know by this time who the next president is going to be. And for some, that's going to be a disappointment. For others, it's going to be a moment of celebration. What I want to remind us is that in all of that, God is building His house because the world belongs to God. Whether the world understands it, whether the people in the countries of the world acknowledge it or not, the world belongs to God. And His will be done. And He is building His house even as I speak. Hope that you take hold of that and allow it to bring you some comfort and some strength for where you are in your life right now. This coming weekend, we're going to step a little deeper into what it looks like and how it is that God builds the house. We're going to start with Exodus chapter 35, and we're going to spend a little time in Exodus 35 and the early verses of 36 in the next couple of weeks to just determine and see how God does build His house. I hope you can be with us in one of our online campuses or certainly in one of our worship services in person. Until then, remember, keep looking up, and I'll see you later.